Convoy here. So, between people asking me for my thoughts as well as frustration from the ridiculous hot takes on Twitter on the subject, I figured I'd give my thoughts on the new She-Ra this far.